To all intents and purposes, although the word paper is the origin and historical development derived from papyrus, yet the two are produced very differently, and the development of the first is distinct from the development of the second. Correspondingly, the fact that paper dates back almost 2,000 years to when inventors in China first crafted cloth sheets to record their drawings and writings. Moreover, before then, global citizens communicated through pictures and symbols etched on stone, bones, cave walls, or clay tablets. Paper as we know it today was first made in Liang, China by Tashi Lon, a Chinese court official. In all likelihood, Tashi mixed mulberry bark, hemp and rags with water, mashed it into pulp, pressed out the liquid, and hung the tin mat to dry in the sun. I became fixated on the aforementioned assertion because it is a contemplative and rational type of abstract that generalizes thinking about a phenomenon. The result of such thinking, which are to describe, explain, and to optimize development. Historically, according to W.C. Griffiths, the employment of paper as money is fondly believed to be the invention of modern civilized nations. It was known to the Chinese before the Christian era. The European alchemists toiled for centuries to transmute lead into gold. The Chinese tried paper and it became money. Paper is a versatile material with many uses, including printing, packaging, decorating, writing, cleaning, filter paper, wallpaper, book end paper, conservation paper, laminated workshops, toilet tissue, currency, security paper, and a number of industrial and construction processes. According to Ekrem Bugre Exini, paper is perceived as also a powerful advocate of law. The word paper is etymologically derived from Latin papyrus. Papyrus is a thick paper-like material produced from the pith of the Cyprus papyrus plant, which was used in ancient Egypt and other Mediterranean cultures for writing before the introduction of paper. Papyrus is a lamination of natural plant fiber, while paper is manufactured from fibers whose properties have been changed by maceration. Paper can open, it stretches, it's closed, it rolls up, it can be contracted or expanded, hidden away or displayed. Among the earliest known uses of paper was padding and wrapping delicate bronze mirrors, according to archaeological evidence dating to the reign of Emperor Wu of Han from the 2nd century BCE. Although paper was used for writing by the 3rd century CE, paper continued to be used for wrapping and other purposes. Toilet paper was used in China from around the late 6th century. The evidence of paper use on the Indian subcontinent appears first in the second half of the 7th century. Its use is mentioned by the 7th and 8th century Chinese Buddhist pilgrim memoirs, as well as some Indian Buddhists. Moreover, paper started to replace parchment as the primary writing material for administrative uses in Baghdad. The first paper mill was built in Spain, and soon paper was being made at mills all across Europe. Over the next 800 years, paper was used for printing, important books, Bibles, and legal documents. The Islamic civilization helped spread paper and papermaking into the Middle East after the 8th century. In the 13th century, the knowledge and uses of paper spread from the Middle East to medieval Europe, where the first water-powered paper mills were built. In the 19th century, industrialization greatly reduced the cost of manufacturing paper. For example, revolution combined not only to expand the size and circulation of the newspaper enormously, but to revolutionize their methods of gathering news, to mechanize their and to transfer their layout and appearance. According to A.E. Musson, the 19th century witnessed remarkable changes in the newspaper production. The content and the context of A.E. Musson's assertion explicitly and implicitly suggests paper was in great demand. As in the 15th century, England began making large supplies of paper and supplied the colonies with paper for many years. And Chinese traveler Ma Huan praised the quality of paper in Bengal, describing it as white paper that is made from bark of a tree and is as glossy and smooth as deer skin. The use of tree bark as a raw material for paper suggests that the paper manufacturing in the eastern states of India may have come directly from China. Paper technology likely arrived in India from China through Tibet and Nepal around mid-7th century, when Buddhist monks freely traveled, exchanged ideas and goods between the Tibet and Buddhist centers in India. The record in the 24 Histories says in ancient times, writings and inscriptions were generally made on tablets or bamboo or on pieces of silk called cheet. But silk being costly and bamboos heavy, they were not convenient to use. Tasseldon then initiated the idea of making paper from the bark of trees, remnants of hemp, rags of cloth, and fishing nets. According to Timothy Hugh Barrett, paper played a pivotal role in early Chinese written culture, and a strong reading culture seems to have developed quickly after its introduction, despite political fragmentation. Indeed, the introduction of paper had immense consequences for the book world. It meant books would no longer have to be circulated in small sections or bundles, but in their entirety, books could not be carried by hand rather than transported by cart. Paper can be produced with a wide variety of properties depending on its intended use. For example, for representing value, paper, money, bank note, check, security, voucher, or ticket. Additionally, it is reported that paper also impacts the environment in a significant way, which has led to changes in industry and behavior at both businesses and personal levels. With the use of modern technology, such as the printing press and the highly mechanized harvesting of wood, disposable paper became a relatively cheap commodity, which led to a high level of consumption and waste. However, paper is a versatile material with many uses, including printing, packaging, decorating, writing, cleaning, filter paper, wallpaper, book end paper, conservation paper, laminated worktops, toilet tissue, currency, and security paper, and a number of industrial and construction processes. Moreover, the pulp and paper industry comprises companies that use wood as raw material and produce pulp, paper, or paperboard and other cellulose-based products. Paper has wealth, which means wealth as measured by monetary value or reflected in price of assets. Paper has shaped civilization via different uses and can be changed into things that are completely different to its original making. Paper's characteristics are shaped by the way it has been made, which allows a completely unique personality to emerge. For instance, the invention of paper greatly helped the spread of literature and literacy, making books more convenient to use the cheaper. Scholars at the Imperial Academies were issued with thousands of sheets of paper each month by the government. The strength of paper is determined by the following factors in combination. 1. The strength of the individual fibers of the stock. 2. The average length of the paper. 3. The interfiber bonding ability of the fiber, which is enhanced by the beating and refining action. And 4. The structure and formation. A paperless society is a society in which paper communication, written documents, mail, letters, etc., is replaced by electronic communication and storage. The concept originated by Frederick Wilfrid Lancaster in 1978. Correspondingly, according to W.C. Griffiths, the use of paper in Japan are ludicrously various. In this place, the point which must be underscored is used in daily life, in the drawing room, the nursery, and the kitchen, in ways that are dark to a foreigner. A Japanese is never at a loss for a string, a sheet for a letter, a wrapper, a handkerchief, a towel, or a plaster. In his bosom is a roll of paper, and what paper can accomplish is known only to the native of Japan. When children cut their finger, a badge is applied, and tears are dried with the same article. The exquisitely dressed young lady takes a roll of paper from her girdle, and lo, it becomes a handkerchief. Paper is so important that in the streets on a rainy day in Yedo, you will see for miles a panorama of moving discs of paper. Both umbrellas and parasols are made of paper, and a suit of oiled and waterproof clothes, hat, coat, trousers, and shoes may be bought almost anywhere in Japan. Boxes, pipe cases, twine, dishes, tea trays, carpets, chimneys, roasting pans for firing tea, windows, doors, partitions, and screens are everywhere made of paper. The panel walls of houses are made of hardened paper pulp. Old Japanese armor is largely made of compressed lacquered paper. There is a view that Europeans adopted the custom of papering the walls of their homes from these people. This practice was also evident in Barbados in the 1960s. The dwellings of the better classes of Japanese people are always papered, though the sheets used are not over a foot or 18 inches square. They are polished silver gilded, colored or printed with birds, flowers, animals, and many tasteful designs. In looking over a paper dealer's sample book in Yedo, one rarely sees a loud or uncouth patter, always expecting the dragon in such the normal Japanese doth so delight. The employment of paper as money is fondly believed to be the invention of modern civilized nations. It was known to the Chinese before Christian era. Paper Technology is the official journal of the Paper Industry Technical Association and is a technical publication for the paper industry and its allied trades. It was started in 1960. The headquarters of the journal is in London. Paper can last a very long time, but it depends on what it is made out of and the environmental conditions that it has been kept in. This view is asserted by Eva Gugumos. The world's three largest paper producing countries are China, the United States, and Japan. These three countries account for more than half of the world's total paper production, while the leading paper importing and exporting countries are Germany and the United States. The pulp and paper industry is one surrounded by myth, but the truth is evident in the data. Consumers have been led to believe that the industry is dying for years. For example, as the world has grown more and more digital, projected declines in paper consumption and subsequent revenue fill the news. Not to mention that the rapid growth of climate change concern has made the industry a target when it comes to energy consumption, sustainability, and deforestation. The data, however, shows strength in the industry as well as adaptations to not only keep up with, but help the declining health of the environment. Now that I have analyzed this topic, gravity and the scope of this scholarly discourse are metaphoric, philosophic, and symbolic. In context, it seemingly imputes theoretical attributes such as chemistry, culture, and psychology, which are essentially fluid and constantly in motion. A nuance vibrated my cognitive, deductive, and inductive skills as an author, media arts specialist, licensed cultural practitioner, and publisher. Through my lens, the aforesaid doctrine is an ostensible reason why I have posit culture without paper. Overall, in all probability, since paper is manufactured from fibers and its properties have been changed by